When City Hall turned its back on Mother Cabrini and refused to honor her with a new statue, the Bishop of Brooklyn took charge. Bishop Nicholas DiMarzio led a march of more than 1,000 people through the streets of Carroll Gardens to push back against the snub of the saint. And on Columbus Day, he rode up Fifth Avenue on a Diocese of Brooklyn float with Mother Cabrini as the centerpiece. Then Governor Andrew Cuomo named the bishop to a new commission that's going to bring a Cabrini memorial to life. There are 18 other top names on that panel, and 2 of them join us now. John Heyer is the lay coordinator of the Diocese of Brooklyn Italian Apostolate, and Angelo Vivolo is the president of the Columbus Heritage Coalition. Thank you so much for being with us.
Pleasure to be here.
We need an update. What progress is the commission making in recognizing Mother Cabrini? Angelo, let's start with you.
Well, we had an initial meeting with the governor, Bishop DiMarzio, and myself several weeks ago, and we discussed who we wanted on the commission and who the governor wanted on the commission, and we discussed that at length, and then the commission was finally formulated, and we were given the charge of deciding design, also who would do the sculpture of the statue and where it would be placed.
Well, so I want to look at this. The governor is also pledging up to $750,000 for a new statue for the Italian-American patroness of immigrants. What will those funds be used for?
We're talking material, what's used to make the statue, make sure it's durable, make sure that it's maintained, make sure that it's created by someone of a certain stature. And the $750,000 may not do the whole job either, which is why we're continuously, thinking about if we may have to continue our fundraising efforts.
Well, how important has Bishop DiMarzio's leadership been in the success of the Cabrini campaign? John?
Oh, I would say for sure it's been outstanding. The bishop from the very beginning of hearing of it was himself disappointed, as many others were. But that's not what brought us to this point. What brought us to this point was the fact that then parishioners, people from the Diocese of Brooklyn, started reaching out, members of the Italian Apostolate, members of parishes that have, as Angelo said, no affiliation with the Italian population, reached out, and Bishop heard the cry of the people, and was able to, with the Italian Apostolate, with other members of the priests in the Diocese of Brooklyn and the laity, come together and say, well, we need to do something, which is what led us to honoring Mother Cabrini for the Italian Apostolate Day this year, is because he heard the cry of the people and he wanted to honor Cabrini. In doing that, and then also wanting to recognize her and make sure that she was at the forefront of the float for the Diocese of Brooklyn in the Columbus Day Parade, he was putting out there not a reaction to what happened, but he was instead trying to listen and fulfill the needs or the desire of the people to recognize Cabrini, which I think is real leadership.
Well, and Angela, you mentioned her importance to the city, not only to the Catholics, but to everybody, poor and disenfranchised. What does she mean to you personally?
Well, to me, she means hope, she means caring, compassion. She did it for all ethnicities and all religions. And so someone who has represented that so well should be honored and should be recognized for the contributions.
And John, what about you?
For me, as an Italian American, right, speaking from that perspective, one of the desires I have is that when people look at my children or myself and know that we're Italian American, that the first image that they see in their mind is not Tony Soprano. But instead, I wish and pray that they would see Mother Cabrini, an Italian immigrant woman who came to this country to help everyone, who became a citizen herself and worked, for the gospel mission, and no matter who she was working with. That's what I wish everyone would see when they look at Mother Cabrini and they think of the Italian-American person.
I'm sure there's much more to come.
Yes.
John Heyer, the lay coordinator of the Diocese of Brooklyn Italian Apostolate, and Angelo Vivolo, the president of the Columbus Heritage Coalition. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
If you're watching Currents News on YouTube, be sure to hit the subscribe button and then click on the bell to get instant updates about all of our newest content, because we are putting your faith in the news.